Welcome to Dodgers Daily. Casey Porter here, joined by Mark Watkins, as I am each and every Tuesday and Thursday. And hey, yesterday, after the loss the day before, that was like exactly what the doctor ordered. You had a whole bunch of people that contributed. You had a lot of feel-good moments. So just kind of dive into yesterday's big win. Not big win necessarily, big win on the scoreboard, but for the Dodgers yesterday, Mark.
Yeah, that, like you said, that was the tonic that they needed, I think, in a variety of ways. They had a great game offensively and some really strong pitching performances. They didn't have to go to the bullpen a lot, which was huge. So it gave them some rest in there in the middle of a 10-game streak without having any days off. So they really needed those pitching outings that they got yesterday. It's a big boost for them. Yeah,
10 games, 10 days in a row, and then also Dave even said it, an unsustainable clip in terms of the way the bullpen is being used. It can't continue to be used the same amount that it's been used at this point in the season. So basically, just to throw two arms that you just got out of Oklahoma City, that doesn't add a whole lot to the taxing of the bullpen that you've used at this point. So there was a whole bunch of different layers to the win yesterday. Obviously, you got the win, but from that perspective, as you mentioned a minute ago, you really just kind of gave your entire bullpen a day off.
Right, exactly. And I mean, over the course of a season, a long season in baseball, you need to have a lot of guys step up and contribute. And sometimes these performances like this get lost over the course of a season. What Knack and Sauer did yesterday, but when you look back, they're huge to the success of the team over the long run.
They absolutely are. So Matt Sauer, I've been talking about him for a while now. His fastball metrics are really nice. I mean, like the carry on it, the spin, and then also the velo. This guy's legit. I mean, in terms of metrically what he's throwing south to home plate, it's absolutely legit, and it's been legit all year long. Plus, he has major league experience. So, man, what a weapon it is to have a guy, well, both weapons. Landon Knack, too. You can add Landon Knack has World Series experience. Right. What a weapon it is and luxury it is for the Dodgers to have a guy like Matt Sauer, who actually has metrically as good of an arsenal as a really good arsenal and major league experience, and then also Landon Knack, who was a 3-pitch strike thrower yesterday, as your depth that you can call up on a 10-game and 10-day stretch. I mean, that depth is it's really nice.
It is. I mean, the Dodgers, I mean, you have to give them credit. They're great at finding guys like this, like Matt Sauer, kind of diamonds in the rough, if you will, that they bring in and they maybe tweak their delivery a little bit or something like that, and they get them on track, and they're able to contribute to the team. They've done that over and over again, and they have a lot of depth in their system. Obviously, that's one of the strengths of the team is not just their active roster, but their 40-man roster that they can continue to rotate, in which, as you mentioned, the bullpen's really been taxed so far. So they're gonna have to rely on that 40-man bullpen and probably, rotating some guys in and out of the 40-man rotation. I know they DFA'd Gomez, so we'll see. Maybe he'll end up coming back to them, and they'll pick up other guys as the season goes on too.
Yeah, remember, just because he's DFA doesn't mean that he won't end up back with the Dodgers. Nabil Creasmont did that last year, at least the first time. I think maybe the first two, but I think at least the first time. But Landon Knack, we talk about when he's at his best, he's a 4-pitch strike thrower. What I really like about him, he threw his 4-seam the most, obviously, and he landed that 66% of the time. He has to do that. He has to be probably 65% or above, because his secondaries need to be pitches that he gathers chase with. So what was beautiful about what Landon Knack did yesterday is that he wasn't unpredictable in the sense that he threw a lot of fastballs, but his secondaries were unpredictable. He threw the exact same amount of knuckle curves as he did changeups. And so if you're a hitter and Landon Knack gets ahead of you, you're out of luck, because you don't know what turn's coming, you don't know what speed's coming, you don't know what spin's coming. So that's kind of, I mean, it wasn't like a perfect outing by Landon Knack. It's very good, but that just kind of goes to show you how he can get major league outs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he has a good arsenal, and when he has his command, he can be really tough on the opposing team, as he was yesterday. So it's great to see Knack have such a solid outing.
Yeah, it was big too, because the Dodgers, again, they not only do they need a good outing and the win off of the loss, they needed length and they needed all that. So really good to see that.
Definitely.
Andy Paez, wow, has he been impressive?
Yeah, I think he amazed me. He's more athletic, I think, than he's given credit for. Because some of the plays that he makes, like he did yesterday, when he leaped up against the wall and made that catch. That was a nice catch, and then just to turn around and fire was it 98-mile-an-hour strike to first base?
He's got a bazooka. I always say he doesn't have a cannon; he has a bazooka.
Right. Yeah. The Dodgers have been bringing a lot of guys up that have really strong arms like that. So. But Paez, wow, that was pretty amazing.
Yeah, what have you thought about Hae-Sung Kim so far?
He's fun to watch. He brings so much energy to the team, and I think it's kind of infectious. The guys all seem to like him, and he's kind of a fun guy, I think, to have around. But obviously, he's got a lot of athleticism too. His speed, his ability to play really good defense. So he's going to be definitely a key contributor this year.
Let's see what you think about this. I said this on a Dodgers Dawgs show over the offseason. Now, Hae-Sung Kim is from Korea, and Roki Sasaki, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and Shohei are all from Japan. So they're not from the exact same country, but they are Asian. And one thing I've noticed in the Dodgers system, watching these guys grow up, is that whether you're from Venezuela or the Dominican Republic or wherever, or the Panama, like Jose Ramos, the international players tend to pod together. And so one defense I had of starting Hae-Sung Kim at the major league level was that he could be around all the other Asian players on the team. And I think almost immediately you saw Shohei Ohtani and the Asian players pod together with Hae-Sung Kim. Am I making something up? Am I just making that up, or is that something that's legit?
No, I mean, that does seem to be the case a lot of times, that they do bond together. And even Teo, being from Dominican Republic, he's been kind of their ambassador, I think, like bringing those guys in and making them feel comfortable. So I think, when there is kind of a language barrier, it can naturally bring guys together and make them bond a little bit. Yeah,
Teo with Andy Paez as well. If it's possible for the incredibleness of Freddie Freeman to be underrated, it just seems like this is the year. It's like you look up and it's like, dang, Freddie Freeman's hitting what, like 344 now or something? I haven't looked in the last day or two, but it's like, dang, I didn't realize Freddie Freeman was hitting that. I mean, it's like the most underrated Hall of Fame 344 of all time. At least that's my perception.
I feel the same way. I mean, up until the last few games, I've started to take more notice of it. But yeah, he's been on a tear all season. He's got 423 on base percentage.
Wow.
His OPS is over 1,000, over 1,100 actually. So he was kind of slow, kind of under the radar, I guess. Up in the last few games, I think he really stood out, but he was, especially got 4 RBIs yesterday. But he's, if anybody's been under the radar, he has been, and he was out for a stretch, obviously, but I think he's still, at this point, at least in the MVP discussion as far as the league goes.
It ain't amazing. The Dodgers have done this for several years now, that you can lose guys like Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow, Tommy Edman, Evan Phillips, Michael Kopech, Blake Trinan, you name it. I mean, Freddie Freeman had an ankle that was snapping at him for a while. Mookie Betts got sick earlier this year. And you have all of this crap, okay, these crap sandwiches thrown your way, and you still have the best record in Major League Baseball. And it still doesn't seem like this is like the final version that we're going to see for postseason Dodgers. It's just such a testimony and testament to the incredible roster that has been built in the system.
It is. They're consistently rated as the best organization in baseball, for a variety of reasons. But this is one of the things that they do is they bring in this depth, and they obviously have a lot that they've been good at drafting. So that brings depth with their prospects. But they're also good at picking up guys, outside the organization, as we talked about earlier, and bringing them in. And they just do that consistently, and they have the strongest 40-man roster in the major leagues. If you look at their injured list, they got another good rotation. They do on their injured list, at least.
And then
one.
A whole other team in AAA Oklahoma City that could probably beat the Marlins. Well, hell, they did beat the Marlins yesterday. Right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good time to be a Dodger fan, as I always say. You know, we've had some lean years, but man, the last 10 years have been really great.
Of course, one of the guys I didn't even mention as far as being on the IL this year, Evan Phillips. So, right. I mean, I wouldn't call it bad news anymore, because every time you hear that another guy's going on the IL, it's like you're just so used to it. It's like, okay, we'll call up the next rook from Oklahoma City and we'll continue to have the best record in baseball. But bad news on Evan Phillips. Yeah,
they just seem to keep taking the hits, you know, and I hear about these guys going on the IL. I'm like, oh my gosh, another guy, you know, but just have to hope that it's a short-term thing. And in this case, it looks like it will be. You know, when I first heard it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope he's not going to be out for the year or something like that. But it looks like it'll be temporary, and I think they're erring on the side of caution with him, because they said he could even pitch if he really had to. So that's a good sign. But just some discomfort, and I think in years past, and some teams probably do this more than others, they'll put guys out there that you maybe aren't feeling great. They have a little soreness in their arm or whatever, and sometimes guys are pitching that way and you don't even know it, and it's affecting them. Like Kershaw went for a long time with his toe bothering him before he finally did something about it. But that sometimes guys are kind of banged up. It happens a lot with catchers. Catchers another example. Like Will Smith, towards the end of the season, he's not hitting as well because he's really banged up, and it happens with almost every major league catcher too. It
does. Okay, final thoughts. We're going to get down to the farm. We have an awesome down the farm. We are going to cover the home run from Zaire Hope, the rally in the top of the ninth that was star-studded. You talk about Wilman Diaz, Kendall George, Zaire Hope, Josue De Paula, Logan Wagner. 5 in a row of just really top prospects, all put on a show in the top of the ninth yesterday. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to some Dalton Rushing. We're going to get some Bobby Miller, some Ryan Ward, some Eduardo Quintero, Roque Gutierrez. So we're going to get to that here in just a minute. But final thoughts on the LA Dodgers. Kind of a light show, but you're in that part of the season where you're just kind of cranking one game out after the other.
Right. They're obviously going in to face a division rival now over the next few days. So it's good. Like we talked about, that bullpen effort yesterday was huge because it kind of gets them rested for that series, and it's always important to make a statement against a division rival. So looking forward to that Diamondback series. Okay, man, you ready to take a trip down the farm? Yes, definitely. Okay, so what you're seeing right here is the big rally in the top of the ninth yesterday for the Great Lakes Loons. This is in Dayton. This is a big, big, big rivalry. So you see that the Loons are down 3-0. This is the top of the ninth. They hadn't even scored yet. Hadn't even really threatened. And you lead off with Wilman Diaz, a big shortstop prospect. He's been in the top 30 prospect list. The number 1 draft pick from 2 years ago, Kendall George, gets a base hit. One of the 1 or 2 top prospects in the entire system, Josue De Paula, hits about a 6-hopper. And then Logan Wagner hits a sacrifice fly, and then that. Wow. Boom. Zaire Hope. You talk about an absolute tank. That was maybe the funnest sequence, Los Angeles, AAA Oklahoma City, of anything that's happened in the system this year. That maybe was the funnest 5 to 10 minutes I've watched of Dodgers baseball all year. When you talk about the star power, and then just the finale with Zaire Hope. Right. Yeah, that's awesome. It's one of those games where you just wish you could have been there. You know? Yeah. But to see all those guys come up and contribute that way and have such an exciting victory, that's awesome. Yeah, it absolutely is. And they did it, they hit the home run, but then they also did it by setting it up with a couple of singles and a walk. So, I mean, they did it kind of just generating offense, too. So this is Roque Gutierrez, who had a great outing the other day. Dive into Roque Gutierrez. Yeah, he's off to a great start, and he's looking like he could rise up in levels. He's got some good stuff, like that curveball right there that just fell off the table. So he's looking strong for them so far. Yeah, through the last 5 innings, the other night for Great Lakes, pretty dominant. 5 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. ERA for Roque Gutierrez is 2.16, 28 strikeouts in 20.1 innings. Still, like a lot of these young guys, a lot of work to do in the command part of it. 10 walks in 20.1 innings. That's not what you want. But fastball, cutter, splitter, slider, his velo
is 94 to 96. So Roque Gutierrez with a lot to like there. Again, got to master the execution piece in terms of keeping the ball in the strike zone, but his stuff has a lot of explosive elements to it. So the next guy is a guy that everybody knows about and we all love to watch and follow, and that would be one Mr. Dalton Rushing, WRC Plus of 141. Dive in.
Wow, yeah. I mean, he's definitely one of my favorite players to watch in the system. You know, I've been watching him since he came in, and he's just had that short, compact stroke, you know, and uses the whole field. And he really has a good feel for the strike zone, a great approach, and you see right there, he just went down and got that ball. Not a lot of hitters could have done that, and he's just really impressive to watch.
Yeah, I know a guy you like is Michael Chavis. This is another guy kind of like we talked about with Matt Sauer, one of those quad A guys, a guy that has major league experience, minor league contract, and really off to a pretty good start with AAA Oklahoma City.
Yeah, he's been hitting the ball well, and obviously he has a lot of power. He's has some experience in the major league, so he's another guy that can, you know, provide depth for them, and if necessary, he can come up and play for them on the major league level and contribute.
Another guy that Dodgers fans are very excited about, Esteury Ruiz. Esteury Ruiz showing some power, which, hey, we don't want him to develop his game around power. You see that there. But
right.
Still, he's hitting the ball well. Esteury Ruiz has done a good job. I know you're very excited about him.
Yeah, I didn't know he had as much power as he's shown in the minor league so far. We knew about his blazing speed, of course, but yeah, he's got some pop. And as you said, you don't want him focusing on that. Ideally, you want him hitting line drives like he just did there, and using his speed or ground balls even. But he definitely can power him out from time to time.
One of your favorite prospects in the entire system, if I can get to his video here in just a second, that would be at Single A Rancho, Eduardo Quintero. Again, another very, very fast outfield prospect. So dive into what you like the most. You've seen him in person. What do you like the most about Eduardo Quintero?
He just has a very advanced approach. I was actually that game, the clip right there was there. He took the ball to right field, and first time up at that game, he hit a hard single to left field, and then he had a hard single to right field. You see him going to right field there again too, and he can drive the ball into the gaps. He has power, great speed. He's good defensively, so he's just an all-around a great prospect for them. Yeah,
Eduardo Quintero is a great dude too. Lots of positive energy. Hey, this is taken from Tim Rogers of Dodgers 2080 Blue Madness, a production of Dodgers 2080. This is Sean Paul Leon. Wow, he's turning heads.
He is. I mean, I think at this point in the season, he's probably there. He's impressed more than any pitcher in the minor leagues, I would think, the way he was pitcher of the month for the Cal League. And then just top that off with another strong outing. He had a little bit of issues with his command. He gave up 4 walks, but he still pitched a good game. I think it was 5 innings that he pitched. He's either 4 or 5 innings, but he had another really good outing.
Yeah, he did. And so from who's been the best pitcher in the organization, Sean Paul Leon with Single A Rancho, all the way up to AAA to the best hitter in the organization, period. Doesn't matter what level. That is Ryan Ward. He's turned your head, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. I mean, he obviously has tremendous power. And he really, he just, continues to mash the ball and impress. And he's, as you see, he can go the other way too, like he did right there, which is always important. His average, I think, has been higher than years past this year, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. So he's been making more consistent contact, which is important for him.
Yeah, and in this same game yesterday, this was Kiddos Day, the field trip day. Bobby Miller, another frustrating start, 6 runs. It wasn't like a total loss because he did go 6 innings, which, hey, at least that's a good thing. At least you didn't give up 6 runs and only go 1 inning and tax your bullpen. And then he only had 1 walk. So if you want to look at the super optimistic parts of what he did, there were some things to look in there. But, again, you got to think it's back to the drawing board for Bobby Miller.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's frustrating with him because he obviously has a lot of talent, and he had some really good success at the major league level, and sometimes it's just little things that can throw you off, and a slight change in the delivery or things like that just get you out of off track basically. And or sometimes you lose confidence, and I'm not sure what it is that's affecting him, but I still think he's going to come back and be a good major league pitcher at some point.
He needs to add a cutter. Everything he turns, I see right here, as you're watching this video, everything he has either tumbles straight down, it rides the top of the zone and gives that riding effect, or it has a right turn. He needs a left turn because, in my opinion, he needs to be throwing 98-mile-an-hour sinkers. He featured his four-seam yesterday. Again, I've said it for 2 years now. He needs to be a sinker guy instead of a four-seam guy. Add a left-turned cutter to it, and then tumble the change up and curveball off of that. I don't know. He hasn't done that yet. We'll see. But again, drawing board type stuff. So, hey, we were going to get to some of the lower level pitchers at Single A Rancho. We'll get to them here probably in a show coming up, but we're running out of time on this one here, Mark. So, hey, final thoughts here, whatever, any of the action in the organization.
Yeah, I mean, it always goes so fast, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
But, yeah, I mean, I'm excited, as mentioned, about the upcoming series with the D-backs and, getting through this 10-game stretch and getting back home. But, yeah, there's a lot of players impressing right now, both on the major league level and in the minor leagues. So it's, as I said, exciting time to be a Dodger fan.
It absolutely is. So, hey, for Mark Watkins, I'm Casey Porter. I want to remind all of you out there that you Dodgers dogs are the absolute best in the world, not the biggest, but the absolute best baseball fans, and we appreciate you so much. So again, for Mark Watkins, I'm Casey Porter, and as always, it's a great day to be a Dodger.